Hey, what's going on? Sean here. Thanks for being here again. I want to have a conversation about what if you're a true artist? What if you're a writer and you want to perform your own material exclusively and want to make a living? Well, there's two paths you can go. One is you can learn some cover material, do your own thing with that cover material, start out playing places like wine bars, sports bars, cafes, things like that, and play a lot of your own material mixed in with covers and kind of develop a following and a reputation as that artist that does his own thing, his own interpretations of covers, but also really concentrates on his own material. And I've known several really talented musicians and artists that have done this, and they've done quite well for themselves by doing it. I went the other direction. I started playing covers, and I just little by little mixed my own material in and stuff. And even though I was primarily an original artist ever since I was 7, I was writing songs. So if I could go back and do it again, I would have taken the first road. I would have just played my own material and mixed in covers that I liked, and that kind of went along with the vibe of my own material. You can do that, or you can just work on your own material and go out and little by little just start playing, fairs and open mics and cafes, and build up a following that way. You could play writers' nights in Nashville or other cities that have them, and you can. Back in the day, there was like the Uncommon Ground coffee house circuit, and like I said, there were theaters, and there were. You could do the NACA circuit back in the day, which was a tour of the colleges and stuff like that. Howie Day back in the day, he was a big NACA guy, I believe. Dave Matthews, Hootie, those bands started out doing that. I think Zach Brown was also doing a lot of NACA stuff too. But like Keith Urban, like me, Zach Brown also did a lot of covers, did a lot of frat parties and colleges and things like that. There's no one way to do it, but you either have to take the approach where you're concentrating on your own material, and you just spice in other covers as well, kind of to reel the people in. But your focus is always on your own material. You always have a big merchandise standout. You always have freebies to give out to people, stickers. You always have material for them to download, cards with your download material, your Spotify and your iTunes. And you're always, your funnel, your marketing funnel, to get them in might include some covers and things like that, but the funnel itself, at the end of it, is your material. You have to portray yourself as an artist. You're always trying to bring them to you, whoever you are, Sean Mormelo, whoever you are. You want them to become fans of you, not fans of the music you play, per se. You know what I mean? And all you have to do, they say, is and eventually you get enough. You're out on social media. You're putting videos out. You're putting music videos of your songs. You're writing a lot. You're giving the fans, even if there's 10 of them in the beginning. Eventually you get 1,000 fans. You get 300 people. You get a Patreon. You do free concerts for people. You do things that only they are privy of. You make that exclusive content for your fans. You only need 1,000 fans, But you got to get out there and hit the road. This is going to take a number of years to do. If you're a true artist, though, that's going to be more fulfilling to you, that path. Funneling in the people to become your fans, your material, your artistic endeavors, your output. I think in whatever form this may take, whether it be a jam band situation, original band situation, or my solo shows, I think for me, that's going to be my future. I might have one more season here in Florida where the money's really good. And then I want to take an awesome, crazy trip to Alaska with my family. My wife's been there. I used to live in Alaska for 10 years, and I took my wife there for our honeymoon. Kids have never been there before, though, and even though they're older now, they're off doing their own things. They're really into building cars and things like that. And I'd like to see if we could take them next summer. So we might have to come back to Florida for next season and work, and I might have to do the whole, the cover on the beach thing, Zach Brown, whatever it is I'm playing, Jimmy Buffett thing, Tiki on the beach thing. But after that, I want to focus, because I personally believe, I've seen this in my own life now, just in observations. I think it's going to go niche, and I think everything is going just quality. You know, there's enough out there. There's enough people out there where you could find a few hundred fans that follow you around, that want to be a part of what you do on Patreon, maybe, or maybe not Patreon, like Subscribestar. That want, you can make exclusive content for them. You can write custom material for people. Back in the hotel cafe LA days, we're talking about like the 90s, early 2000s. There was a lot of guys and girls I followed around. And they're out. A lot of them are out there still doing it today. They've got their own. They built up over the years, lots of albums, lots of fans, and most of them have families now. Because they're my age or a little bit younger, some a little bit older. I'm Gen X, and most of them have families now, and they've settled down. But they still do projects. They still tour. They put out albums. They do their thing. There's guys like Jay Nash out there, Tony Luca, who ironically now lives in Nashville. He'll do custom songs for people, custom songwriting with people, and puts out his own music still. And I think he does some other things as well. Diversification. Obviously, you want to have as many little kinds of income that can come in possible from your art. I mean, you can, between your merch, between your music, between your exclusive content, subscriptions, and all that kind of stuff, you can forge a nice little niche career for yourself if you're an artist. Is everyone going to become an Ed Sheeran? No, most are not nowadays. But I think if you're quality and you stick to it and you have the tenacity and you have, what I have, if you're obsessed, you can't do anything else but be an artist, then that's probably the path for you. But will you always stay on that path? I don't know. Not everybody's always going to stay on one path. I was on that path until about 40 years old. I couldn't do anything else, and then I had some other things come in. Seasons of life are a thing. I think I was raising kids. I was staying home, and family took precedence for a while. But I can see myself coming into a very creative period again, where I want to move forward personally with developing my own content and my own career based on my own stuff again. So that's just me. But if that's you as well, no matter what age you're at, no matter where you're at, you could tailor the direction of your career towards that. So those are just some ideas. You could write books. I'm working on a book right now, like I told you guys, about how to make a living in the music business based on my 35 plus years experience. And I think it's going to have a lot of value for some of the younger people coming up who didn't come up in a time when a lot of the opportunities that were available to me existed that are not available anymore. And I could show the steps that I took, and people could cherry pick out of that as to, what may or may not be beneficial to their situation. So, it's my way to give back now, and I'm doing that myself. But there's a lot of things artistically that you guys can do. So anyway, I hope you got some value from this. I just wanted to come on here today and talk about that. I think there's a lot of different ways you can approach a career in music, and it doesn't have to be playing music in a tiki bar on the beach. Although, if you're not a writer, if you're a player, and you're average, at least, you could come down here in Florida and do that. You can go to the shores of the Gulf of Texas. I'm sure you can go to cafes up and down the Sierra Nevada. You could be up and down, any little town from Salt Lake to Bozeman, Montana. There always going to be a need for some talented live individuals that can tell some stories or paint pictures through music. Anyway, thanks for being here. Hope you got some value out of this, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye.